A public hearing into the Titan submersible disaster has revealed the final text messages sent by those on board as they headed towards the wreck of the Titanic. One read, "All good here," before the craft imploded and killed all the people on board.
This was the last recorded image of the OceanGate passengers. And 2 hours later, the water pressure crushed them like a soda can. Why did these billionaires pay $250,000 for their own deaths instead of spending $500,000 on a ticket? Secret documents show the submarine designer warned them 14 times. But one stupid mistake destroyed everything. In this video, we'll hear the final seconds of the black box audio, analyze the fatal engineering flaw, and answer, will their bodies ever be found? If you dare to see how wealth and arrogance sent 5 people to hell, hit play now. Before YouTube takes this video down. Some hobbies in the world are exclusive to billionaires and remain out of reach for ordinary people. One example is participating in extremely expensive competitions where the entry fee alone costs millions of dollars, while the winner's prize is just a couple $100,000 at most. Another elite pastime is private heli skiing. In this sport, billionaires are flown by helicopter to untouched, snow-covered peaks, where they ski down pristine natural slopes, completely alone. This experience is not only ultra-luxurious, but also highly dangerous. Many of these activities combine thrill, exclusivity, and high risk, making them accessible only to those who can afford their staggering costs.
One of the most dangerous examples of deep-sea exploration is the story of the Titan submersible, operated by the American company OceanGate. This company offered a unique service. For a fee of approximately $250,000 per person, it would take individuals to a depth of 3,800 meters in the ocean to witness the wreckage of the famous Titanic up close. Interestingly, James Cameron, the director of the famous Titanic film, had traveled to the depths of the ocean in this submersible 33 times. However, not for research or filming, but purely as a personal and recreational experience. On June 18, 2023, 5 people boarded the Titan submarine to view the wreck of the Titanic. These 5 included Stockton Rush, the pilot and engineer of the submarine, who was one of the founders of OceanGate, Paul-Henri Nargeolet, a 77-year-old Frenchman, Hamish Harding, a 58-year-old Englishman, and 2 Pakistani billionaires named Shahzad Wood and his 19-year-old son, Suleiman Wood. They traveled to the site of the Titanic's sinking aboard this submarine. This is the story of a submarine whose door is sealed from the outside before being launched into the water. The crew descends into the ocean without any problems for 1 hour and 45 minutes, but suddenly, their communication with the surface is cut off. No matter how much the support ship tries to contact them, it is unsuccessful. Eventually, due to low oxygen levels and the danger to their lives, they are forced to call the United States Coast Guard and ask for help. the Coast Guard immediately begins a rescue operation to find the missing submarine. Meanwhile, it becomes clear that the chief executive officer of OceanGate, Mr. Stockton Rush, who was also the piloting this submarine, had received several safety alerts in the past. He had been warned that the submarine was not safe for carrying passengers and that people's lives should not be endangered. In 2018, Rob McCallum, one of the most well-known experts in the maritime industry, sent an email to Stockton Rush warning him that this submarine operation was extremely dangerous and that passengers should not be allowed on board. However, Stockton dismissed his concerns. McCallum had stressed that the submersible needed to be taken out of service right away, but Rush replied by saying, "You're just making up excuses to block progress in the maritime industry." What makes this even more striking is that Stockton wrote in one of his emails, "I'm sick of hearing these meaningless complaints. Accusing me of wanting to get people in harm's way is offensive. Stop it." Now, the real issue is, what materials was this small submersible built with? Its structure was made of carbon fiber and titanium, with an extra thick acrylic glass viewing window at the front measuring 380 mm 38 cm wide. Those inside would peer through this window, hoping to see the wreck of the Titanic. But the most shocking detail was how this submersible was controlled. It was steered using a standard PlayStation video game controller. The vessel had 4 electric motors and could only move at a sluggish speed of 5.5 km per hour, 3.4 miles per hour. The United States Coast Guard has been conducting search operations for more than 80 hours, but as of now, there is still no sign of the missing submersible. The biggest question remains unanswered: was this some kind of bizarre joke, or was it all tragically real? Ultimately, a military submarine called in by the United States Coast Guard began searching the ocean floor. Approximately 500 meters away from the Titanic wreckage, they discovered the shattered remains of the submersible. Investigators reported that the vessel had suffered a catastrophic implosion, or more precisely, had been completely crushed, as the tremendous water pressure at that depth had collapsed it like an aluminum can. This situation raises grave concerns about Stockton Rush's judgment. What could he possibly have been thinking when he allowed passengers to board a vehicle that couldn't even withstand basic ocean pressure at such depths? Authorities immediately confirmed there was no chance anyone could have survived. When the overwhelming pressure of the deep ocean can crush a submersible vessel so completely, survival for anyone inside becomes impossible. This heartbreaking tragedy serves as an important reminder about the vital necessity of strict safety standards and comprehensive technical testing in marine exploration. The complete disregard for fundamental engineering principles and safety protocols led to entirely preventable consequences. The maritime industry must learn from this disaster to ensure such a catastrophe never happens again. The analysis of the wreckage of the Titan submarine reveals that death in the depths of the ocean can be swifter than the blink of an eye. At a depth of 3,800 meters, where the pressure equals the weight of the Eiffel Tower per square inch, this iron giant shattered in less than a second, like an eggshell crushed under a hammer. OceanGate sacrificed safety standards to cut costs. By using an unconventional combination of titanium and carbon fiber, and even a PlayStation game controller to steer the submarine, they pushed the boundaries of risk. Contrary to public belief, the victims' families will likely receive no compensation. The company, with legal cunning, had classified boarding the Titan as an experimental research participation. Each passenger, by signing a 40-page agreement, had explicitly acknowledged the possibility of death, physical injury, and psychological trauma. While some imagined the occupants struggled for hours in the pitch black, freezing depths, Marine physicists emphasize that collapse under such pressure is instantaneous, faster than the nervous system can register pain. Death at 4,000 kilograms per square centimeter of pressure is like the detonation of a bomb. 111 years after the sinking of the Titanic, humanity's symbol of pride, the Titan proved that the ocean remains a merciless domain. These 5 new victims serve as a grim reminder of the ignored warnings from Robert Ballard, the Titanic's discoverer: do not underestimate the ocean. It is a ruthless wilderness that does not forgive mistakes. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. This is the smallest thing you can do to show respect for the victims. Leave a comment. Your opinion matters. In your opinion, is adventure, even if dangerous, worth the risk? How can we prevent such tragedies from happening again?
Thanks for watching this video. Goodbye.